Hey there, my name is Heather Feather. I am the owner of Rare Bird Medicine, and today's topic is Objectified Male. Anytime I see humanity taking a strong collective stance on something, I always want to look for the part that's being missed. I recently was blessed with the opportunity to take plant medicines, Madre Ayahuasca, and in my time with this ancient Abuela de la Tierra, grandmother of the earth, as I like to call her, because I see her I see Mother Earth, Pachamama, as the mother, and I see what is called Madre Ayahuasca typically as the grandmother, the ancient wisdom that would have us nurture her daughter. She often teaches on that. But she was showing me about my matrix, that I am her beloved daughter that always looked for the slice that fell through the crack. I've spent my life looking for the piece that fell through the crack. And my attention does tend to be mired in yeah, but what are we missing as we speak about this? And we're in an age where voice is often being given to the objectification of women. And when I think about the objectified female, it's something I've had plenty of experience with. I've had, I lost my virginity to rape. I was assaulted at the age of 4. I've had a number of very untoward experiences, where I'm starting a sexual relationship with a partner and another man comes out of the closet, and all kinds of different seedy experiences that aren't necessarily what I would have handpicked for myself on a physical level, obviously picked it on a spiritual level. However, when I consider the weight of those experiences, the weight of being treated like an object, what I do know is that I can't be handed something from another if they don't hold it within their temple. You can't give me objectification unless you yourself feel objectified. And so, the place that I always want to come from, and my intention is to come from a space of compassion, rather than vilifying somebody that's given you trash as if you're a wastebasket. Rather than vilifying somebody that's given you poison, let's consider what caused the poison to be in them that is making you have to choose between whether you're going to be poison or antidote in response, whether you're going to be lead or gold in response to the occurrence. Because really, every two-legged, I always see as a divine appointment, and it's just divinity giving you the opportunity to choose again. And the choice is, do you choose love? And if you're going to choose love, then are you loving yourself as part of that is part of the question. This objectification piece, if we think about the way the concept of male societally is treated, at least culturally, I'm in the States. In this incarnation, I believe I have an oversoul and actually am in multiple gendered and cultural bodies all at one time. I don't think I inhabit one body at a time. But in this incarnation, in this iteration, in this slice of my oversoul, when I consider the weight of objectification, how is it that if men are handing that, they must have it? How is it that they have that? Well, let's just think about their earnings, their cars, their status. What kind of a job does a man have? And how much is his value tied into his job? So how much is he a cog, a turning cog in the wheel of a machine in which, he's got to be the well-greased little cog for this machine to move forward? And so how much do we objectify men concerning their finances, concerning the quality of their job? How much is that judged societally? I personally have never, so long as you're an adult and can pay your bills, I don't really care what you do. I'm not impressed by your baubles, because you're not going to take it with you past the grave. And I don't care so long as you're able to be responsible and take care of your own finances. However, there's a common association with women that they're gold diggers, even though Rosie the Riveter happened ages ago and women are able to earn their own wages. But I do see this. I've seen people that are they're going to date the guy with a nice job. They care about whether he has XYZ number of baubles. They care about the wheels, the chariot he chooses to drive around in, which is, you are literally making him an object. He becomes an object that you possess that gives you appropriate chariot for your flesh costume to travel around in and gives you appropriate XYZ number of dinner and drinks. I've never been someone to take drinks from a man because I'm a grown woman and I have my own job and I can pay for my own drinks. So let's keep the energy clean. There's nothing I owe you. I've paid for my drinks. You've paid for yours. Cool. Let's get to know one another. That's been my come from in this life. Teach their own. But we can see an objectification societally for men around their jobs, around their earnings, around their homes, around their cars. You know, we're objectifying them through finances. And we can see an objectification of their bodies around their penises. There is a foundational expectation. I can see a lot of pressure in the male identified to perform. They're not allowed to have a flaccid penis, just to be very frank with you. You know, it's like they put a lot of pressure on themselves to never have that experience. They put a lot of shame on themselves if they have that experience. And they can be shamed as well by their lovers. And I've seen that, I've heard that conversation come out of others as well. And it's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. You know, you're not having an orgasm every time either lover of that male with a flaccid penis. You know what I mean? So like, why would you put such an unrealistic expectation on his body? You've objectified him. You're basically saying his body must perform at 100 all the time. Do you ask your body to perform at 100 all the time? And is that even a realistic expectation? I think not. So, you know, I think it's important that I consider this a lot with culture, because although I'm playing quote unquote white woman would be a way to look at me and discern what my life is, if you want to put labels on it, in this slice of many iterations. I'm in the 1300s in Greece right now, near the Palace of Nestor as well. I'm in other incarnations at the same time from my perspective, which could also always be wrong. But from that slice, it would be easy to say, and many might, oh, she's a woman and women are more oppressed than men. Not a philosophy that I hold. Women may get paid less than men. Women may be spoken over. Women may have a higher incidence mathematically of sexual assault. Doesn't mean men do not get sexually assaulted. Doesn't mean that men do not have sexual pressure. Doesn't mean that men do not have experiences with women who have been sexually assaulted and then are very sexually aggressive with men and have high sexual expectation. Also, there's this piece around, you know, men aren't taught freedom around crying. There's foundational, you know, like don't be a little girl, you know, men are often taught, you know, it's like they're emasculated if they be sad. And men grieve and they lose people that they love and they lose animals that they love and they have sorrow. And they have this also societal expectation of shame and weakness if they feel sorrow. Now, I personally think it is a far more egregious humanitarian crime to tell a two-legged they can't cry than it is to not pay a two-legged well. And we can, you know, it's like everything's a spectrum to me, so we can debate the spectrum. But to me, the first thing nearly all babies will do when they come to Earth School is cry. We don't come to Earth School earning wages. That's a man-made design. But we come to Earth School crying. So to deny the validity of a man's heart and the way he feels, to pretend as if he is weak, or to belittle him, or to shame him, or to speak ill of him, if he shows vulnerability, if he shows sensitivity, if he shows emotional intelligence. The weird thing about our hours and our times is that we have this expectation of change in something that we're judging, but we're not looking at what the thing we're judging is dealing with that's causing the poison. What is the root that caused that poison to be in my mirror? What is the root that caused that poison to be in my mirror? When I consider Caucasian white society, so someone might have empathy for me being a woman and think, oh, well, she's a woman, so for that but she's white, so she's so privileged. And so I'm not saying that being white in a highly prejudiced society where people in positions of power can be highly prejudicial and judgmental and ignorant doesn't exist. I'm saying that if you choose white to be the reason and if we look at it, there's a lot of that there. The reason for vilification or degradation or just sick behavior towards others, then it's important to note that that race is the bad guy. They're also playing the bad guy race. They're not the underdog. They're not the underdog. So there's a component of, and if we look at white history, what have the whites done to the natives? To me, the sacred natives are the ancients that we should be following, that hold the ancient wisdom of plant medicines like Abuela de la Tierra for many, and hold the ancient wisdoms of honoring Pachamama, sacred Gaia, Mother Earth, which is so needed in this time. If we look at the sacred wisdoms of the mystical Kabbalistic teachings of Judaism, and the way those peoples were treated during Nazi Germany, and the way white man treated this entire sacred group of deeply evolved beings, egregious. If we look at, the Romans and Americans and the way Africans were treated, if we look at school shootings, when you look throughout history, often bad guy is very strongly tied to the color of white. And so we can just go, white privilege, white problem, white issue, white. You can do that. But what I'm asking you today is, whatever it is you're judging, let's take a look at it. You might not be judging white. You might not be judging men. Those are common ones I'm seeing in the modern age. But what are you judging? Let's consider what you're judging. What people are you judging? What traits and characteristics are you judging? A common one I see as well is like, you've got to be nice. Be nice. Like, I see a bunch of bumper stickers. Be nice. And it's like, you don't have to be nice. You can be a serial killer, cannibal, rapist. This is a free will zone. No, you don't have to be nice. And since the dawn of time, you haven't had to be nice. It's a choice. And I would say a preferable one. I would recommend it. It leads to a more pleasant experience of the self, ultimately. But there's this quality of where we will judge things. We might judge meanness. We might judge unkindness. I've certainly done that plenty. And then I have to remember, oh yeah, they have free will. So why am I being a little dictator that wants to take away their free will? They don't have to be nice to me. And I might think, well, you should be honest. You should have integrity. I was raised to have integrity and be honest. Well, there are ways I might have a splinter in my own eye around honesty, and ways that I might need to evolve on that topic, and things I might not see about the self. But also, why am I trying to take away someone's free will around their expression of honesty? Why am I expecting people to be evolved on all the topics I may or may not have evolved on? Question is, am I fully evolved on those topics? Am I fully evolved on the topics of gender? Am I fully evolved on the topics of race? Am I fully evolved on the topics of attitude, mood, perspective, perception? This flesh costume, this carriage, this chariot, this ship in the night is the one that I am moving through the seas of life. This little spider is the one that is moving on the web of life and shaking the little strings. So who is she being? And then I'm often asking the self, anywhere that I'm judging others, what is that? Because a lot of the judgments I've had in the past around needing people to be nice are because I put a tremendous amount of pressure on myself to be nice, be polite, be kind. If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. Heard that like a bajillion times. Well, it's okay to not say nice things sometimes. It's actually appropriate sometimes to have a firmer, clearer boundary of that is a no for me and here is why. And that can be seen and viewed as very aggressive, culturally, often from a female perspective, coming out of a female vessel. What a B word. Like, how dare her aggressively tell me no, she's supposed to be nice and get me something to drink, And so, it's okay. It's okay to be what would be considered, based on our false concept of nice, what can be perceived socially as not nice. It's often seen as not nice to say no, which is an appropriate answer if you have a boundary. We have Mastery of Light coming up starting in December. The class has moved. You can go to rarebirdmedicine.com. Click on the class's link. Mastery of Light helps us to evolve on a physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual level, moving into 2024 with more of who we want to be. You can always subscribe on YouTube, like, and comment there. Blessed be.